The great thing about Viper is that the more powerful other characters are, the better she is too. By that I mean if you're up against a character with overpowered abilities, denying them use of those abilities is really strong. That means that with her silencing abilities, she'll pretty much always have a place in the meta. Viper is sort of a tough character to get into if you're a solos player, but there are actually some key things you can work into your gameplay that will help a lot. The general idea with an S2U3 Viper is to keep your opponent silenced and do as much damage in that time as possible. There are pretty much 3 optimal ways to use your skill: 1 by initiating with it, 2 by using it in a combo, and 3 as a soft combo breaker. There are pros and cons with each of these cases, so you'll have to choose which one to go with based on circumstance. I'll explain more about each of them and give some general Viper tips later in the video, but for now here's some Viper gameplay showing roughly how she can be used.
Blacked out how the other night last. Maybe come around for a minute, should I like that? I could never catch, taking aim, might have missed you. Couple 100 miles out, if I hear the text, now you're probably blacked out how the other night last. Maybe come around for a minute, should I like that? I could never catch, taking aim, might have missed you. Now you're probably blacked out, get the bag now. What the address, where's he at now? Don't let me back there, be regicide. That's if I'm ever gone. If you pop me in my face, please spare the better side. Tapped out in my hands, only for one time. Let her go, I'm trying. The worst out, let her go, let her go. She'll be running back, sell her soul, I'll buy it, nothing to worry about. 18 days until she blows, said I'll pass, see the AC grade, right in a row. When the car stops, changing lanes, fill the cup till my heart drops. Changing lanes, fill the cup, say blacked out how the other night last. Maybe come around for a minute, should I like that? I could never catch, taking aim, might have missed you. Couple 100 miles out, if I hear the text, now you're probably blacked out how the other night last. Maybe come around for a minute, should I like that? I could never catch, taking aim, might have missed you. Know you probably add it up. What I like is never enough. Barely a time that I could share with others. Bought a new table just to skip supper. And all of my demons in bed, what you call it? I left all of my demons on red, not a problem. And wake up, alright, wake up. Barely a time that blacked out how the other night last. Maybe come around for a minute, should I like that? I could never catch, taking aim, might have missed you. Couple 100 miles out, if I hear the text, know you're probably.
Hopefully that gave you a taste of how strong Viper can be. Depending on the rarity of the weapons and armor in play, it's very doable to end a fight with a single silence combo into ultimate and never let the opponent activate their own ult. That's especially important when you're up against someone like Valda or a Transformer, where if you're unable to finish them during the silence, they'll ult and be able to completely reverse the aggression. If you're in the early game and working with low rarity armor, it can be a great idea to initiate with silence, because the combo you get from it could be enough to kill on its own. Or if it's not enough, there's a good chance that they don't have their ultimate charged anyways. There is always a risk to using it like that, because the silence does not stagger a focused charging opponent, so if you throw out your skill at random, it can be armored, giving your opponent priority and risking yourself a bunch of damage. One tip I can give to help counter this is that after using your skill, you actually have some lingering hyper armor frames where you can parry. So if you see a focus attack coming at the end of your skill, or even if it's already hitting you, go for that parry. That same thing actually applies to the ultimate too. This doesn't really count as initiating, but another great way to use your skill is once you've been grappled. You can safely silence into the enemy's grapple attack and gain priority. Again, sort of a stretch to be in this category, but an extremely useful thing to do is use your skill to cover a mistake. If you whiff an attack, get baited into a parry, or just leave yourself exposed in any way, silencing can be a great way to punish them for punishing you. As far as your other main options, you can hold on to your skill and try to reserve it for a combo, or use it as that soft combo breaker. I'll go over some silence combos in just a minute, but if you're not familiar with what a soft combo breaker is, it's something that can be used to escape a combo that is soft true, meaning it can't be dodged out of, but some skills will allow you to break out. This is especially beneficial with Viper S2, because if you do soft break out of a combo, not only have you saved yourself a lot of damage, but you now have an opportunity for your own big damage. I guess when in doubt you can just spam your skill once you're being comboed, but something you can be pretty confident in breaking out of is when someone goes for a toothpick combo. Toothpicking is done with a hold dodge to get an additional attack before an uppercut, and while you can't typically dodge out of something like this, you can use a soft combo breaker. There are a lot of combos that require pretty precise inputs to be fully true, so you might be surprised at the amount of stuff that you can use your skill in. You'll learn pretty quickly what you can and can't break out of, like when someone hits you while you're laying down, the 1-2 combo can be interrupted. Okay, this is not going to be a comprehensive combo guide, but I will go over some bread and butter combos you can use if you win priority and your skill is off cooldown. Don't be too intimidated by the long combo notation, just watch them first, and come back to the combo text when you're actually trying to practice them. If you've initiated with silence, some weapons have different stagger timings, which means you have to be careful about how you follow up your skill. Toothpicking can be dodged out of, so be sure to only go for one attack before your uppercut. With some weapons, however, the uppercut is only guaranteed immediately after the silence. There you go. If you land one of these combos, you've done a pretty good amount of damage, and it's probably time to activate your ultimate before the silence runs out. I don't have a ton to say about usage of your ultimate, it's pretty simple to use for the most part. If you're activating it in a scenario where the enemy is low HP and on the run, just try to stick to them like glue, going for staggers and waiting for that final stun so you can finish them. Again, if you're facing a transformer, it's going to be pretty important to finish the fight before they can activate. Viper, being the glass cannon that she is, doesn't have a ton of options once you're losing the fight. Her ultimate doesn't offer a lot of reset potential, but it does give you a good amount of damage reduction while disabling the enemy's grapples, so it can give you an opportunity to grapple away for a chance to heal. If there's a huge health disparity, popping your ult and attempting to grapple or run away is probably your best bet, but if you're only losing by a little, staying in the fight with your ult up and being ready to take advantage of the stagger can get you some clutch wins. Viper is one of, if not the most aggressive character on the roster, and mastering her silence skills will mean you always have a counter meta pick to fall back on. I hope this helped anyone looking into learning some Viper. I'll be happy to answer any questions down below, and I'll see you next time.